Good morning, and welcome back to our Read to Me story time. I'm Miss Nancy Valdivia, librarian for Palm Springs Public Library, and it's spring, the season of spring. It's April 15th, and spring is upon us, and we're having lots of fun here in Palm Springs. I just wanted to share with you this morning a story called Max's Special Spring. And Max has many adventures, as you may already know, with his sister Ruby. Max and Ruby series, available in books and on DVD. These are written by Rosemary Wells. And we read this book to you with permissions by Grosset and Dunlap and imprint of Penguin Group, a Penguin Random House company. And this is actually based on an episode of the animated television series Max and Ruby, based on the characters written by Rosemary Wells, which we have many of those books available for you here at Palm Springs Public Library. Max's Special Spring. It's almost spring, Max, said Max's sister Ruby. But look at how messy our yard is. Let's clean up and compost. Compost, said Max. Yes, Max. Composting is just like recycling. Everything has to be reused. And maybe the birds will come back once we get the yard ready for springtime. Max wasn't interested in cleaning up the yard. He wanted to play with his dump truck and crane. Ruby picked up twigs. Max came over with his dump truck. Take this pile of sticks, Max, said Ruby, and drive it to the compost heap. But Max didn't know where the compost heap was. Vroom, vroom, said Max. Max dumped the twigs under the tree. There were birds in the tree. Birds, said Max. Ruby raked leaves. Wow, Ruby's working very hard. She's just cleaning away. Max drove his dump truck back to Ruby. Leaves go in the compost pile too, Max, said Ruby. Chug, 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 said Max. Max dumped the leaves next to the twigs. Ruby found old grapevines in the garden. They looked like strings. She rolled them into a ball. Can you put these grapevines in the compost pile too, Max? Said Ruby. Max used his crane to pick up the grapevines. Clank, 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 said Max. I guess Max is helping too, isn't he? Yes, he's using his toys. Good idea. Max dumped the grapevines next to the leaves and twigs. Beep, 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 beep. Tweeted the birds up in the tree. Next, Ruby cleaned out the bird bath. Oh, the birds might need to take a bath after the long winter, said Ruby. Max dug a hole in the garden so the birds could find worms to eat. Oh, that's a good idea. Ruby filled up the bird feeder. I hope the birds can find a place to live in our yard, said Ruby. Just then, Ruby and Max saw that the birds had taken twigs, leaves, and grapevines from Max's piles and had made a nest out of them in the tree. Wow, look at that. I bet Max and Ruby never had any idea that the birds could use all the things they had collected from the garden while they were cleaning. Wow, look at that. Do you remember what they collected? We have the twigs, the leaves, the vines. Very, very ingenious little birds to make a nest. Recycle, said Max. And that is the end of our story. Max's Special Spring, based on the characters written by Rosemary Wells. These books and other adventures with Max and Ruby are available here at the Palm Springs Public Library. Check them out. I would just also like to wish you a wonderful spring season, and may you be able to get out there and play and just enjoy what is blossoming around the city. And if you're able to go to a farm or maybe a zoo, perhaps, maybe see what kind of new little animals are being born. This is a little baby lamb. Would you like to sing a song? Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. It followed her to school one day, school one day, school one day. It followed her to school one day, which was against the rules. It made the children laugh and play, laugh and play, laugh and play. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. Bah. Happy spring to you. And just a reminder, don't forget to pick up your craft along kit for the month of April. It is the sand art. We'll see you soon. If you don't know how to make your own appointment electronically, give us a call and make your appointment by telephone. Goodbye.